Wow, there's so much advice. The first thing is I tell my screenwriting students, they have to know everything about everything. So writers have to be able to understand people from the inside out. And if you don't know somebody really well, you have to research that person. If you don't know what a plumber thinks about when he goes to a house to fix a toilet, you have to learn what a plumber thinks about to fix a toilet. You have to learn how a plumber talks. You have to learn how a plumber learns how to be a plumber. So if you don't know that, if you don't know what a young man in 14th century Verona, Italy thinks about, then you have to research that. You have to read about that. So the more you know about your characters, the more you know about the situation that they're in, the better you're going to write. So I think the first thing you need to know as a writer is you need to know what you're writing about. That doesn't mean you have to know what people say, write what you know. I say write what you learn and find out, because you're not always going to write about aliens. You don't know who aliens are, you don't know what they're at, but find out as much as you can, and then you can imagine things. I don't know what a 15-year-old girl is like. I remember what they were like when I was 15, but they're different now. So I have to go talk to a 15-year-old girl if I'm writing about a 15-year-old girl. So do the research, understand who those people are, understand that situation, and then you can write what you know, because then you know it, you've researched it. If a writer has writer's block, I don't believe in writer's block. I don't believe in writer's block because I was a journalist. I had a deadline every day. I had to write to that deadline. It wasn't 4:01, it was 4 o'clock. Every day had to be done. Sometimes writers have to write to a deadline, sometimes they don't. But let's say you don't. You can't call yourself a writer if you don't write. If you haven't finished a script, you still can't call yourself a writer. At least a draft of a script. And so I would say to a writer, if you're not sure, if you have got writer's block, that means you don't have an idea yet. You don't know your characters yet. Because your characters will speak to you. And the more you know your characters, the more they'll speak to you. And then you can sit down and write them. It means also you need to outline your script. Once you outlined your script and you have a good beat sheet or maybe a good treatment or story, there are two words that are used interchangeably in the Writers Guild, schedule of minimums, so we understand who gets paid for what. If you have a good treatment, you can write from the treatment. There's no way that you can't write. You bring the treatment into your program, into Final Draft or one of the other programs, and then you have a paragraph that describes a scene. You push down the rest of the thing, you write according to that paragraph, then you delete that paragraph and you write the next thing. So there's no way that you're stuck. If you're stuck writing the treatment or you're stuck writing the beat sheet, write almost to what you think, you write the story as let me start that over again. When you're writing a story or you're writing a beat sheet, leave something to write the next day. So you have an idea for a scene, just sketch the idea a little bit so that you remember, and the next day start from that, and then you're never stuck for something to write. So when you're writing a script or you're writing a treatment, always leave something at the end of the day to start with the next day. Then you're ready to go. You're never stuck you never have writer's block.